My brothers and sisters, the reason you are stressed right now is because you are trying to figure out something that Allah has already planned. You are thinking about tomorrow, while Allah already knows every second of your future. You are worrying about outcomes, while the result has already been written. And slowly your heart becomes heavy, not because your problems are too big, but because your trust has become too small. What you are carrying inside your chest right now was never meant for you to carry alone. Don't stress. Allah is the planner. You are holding a burden that is not yours. My beloved brothers and sisters, the reason your heart feels so heavy is not always because your problems are too big. It is because you are trying to carry something that was never given to you. You wake up and immediately your mind starts running, thinking about the future, calculating every possible outcome, replaying every mistake, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. You are trying to control conversations that didn't happen. You are trying to fix situations that are not even in your hands. You are trying to guarantee a future that was never promised to be under your control. And slowly, without realizing it, your chest becomes tight, your thoughts become louder, your peace begins to disappear. Why? Because you stepped into a role that does not belong to you. You were never created to control outcomes. You were never created to manage every detail of your life. You were never created to carry the weight of what will happen next. That role belongs to Allah alone. Your role is simple but powerful. To take the step, to make the effort, to choose what is right, to make sincere dua, to keep moving forward even when things feel uncertain. But what you are doing instead is trying to take the next 10 steps in your mind before even taking the first one in reality. And that is where stress is born. My beloved brothers and sisters, imagine a person carrying a heavy bag that does not belong to them. The longer they carry it, the more exhausted they become. The weight does not reduce, it only increases. Now imagine someone comes and tells them, put it down, this was never yours. How would they feel? Relief. That is exactly what you need to do with your stress. Put it down, not by becoming careless, not by ignoring your responsibilities, but by understanding your limits. You plan, but you don't panic. You try, but you don't overthink. You work, but you don't worship the result. Because the moment your heart becomes attached to controlling the outcome, you begin to suffer. And this is why some people have very little, yet they are at peace. And others have everything, yet they are constantly stressed. It is not about what they have in their hands, it is about what they are carrying in their hearts. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, understand this deeply. The future you are worried about is already in the hands of the one who controls everything. So why are you trying to hold it as if it belongs to you? Release it. Return it to Allah and watch how your heart begins to breathe again. What is written for you cannot be taken away. My beloved brothers and sisters, the stress that quietly destroys your peace is not always coming from your problems, it is coming from your fear. Fear that you might lose something you love. Fear that someone else will get what you were hoping for. Fear that life will not turn out the way you imagined. And because of this fear, you begin to chase. You begin to overthink. You begin to hold on so tightly as if everything depends on you. But listen carefully and let this settle deep in your heart. What is written for you cannot be taken away from you. Not by a person, not by a situation, not by a delay, not even by your own mistakes. If something has been written for you, it will find its way to you, even if it has to cross impossible paths. And if something has not been written for you, no matter how much you chase it, no matter how much you cry over it, no matter how perfect it seems, it will never truly become yours. Yet look at how we live. We compare our lives to others. We look at what they have and we begin to question our own journey. We see someone succeed and we feel like we are falling behind. We see someone receive what we wanted and our heart begins to tighten. And without realizing it, we begin to doubt the plan of Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, understand something very powerful. Your life is not in competition with anyone else. What Allah has written for someone else was never meant for you. And what Allah has written for you was never meant for anyone else. So why are you racing in a lane that was never yours? Why are you exhausting your heart trying to reach something that may not even belong to you? This is where your stress is coming from. Not from your situation, but from your misunderstanding of destiny. When you truly believe that your rizq, your opportunities, your moments, your success are all written with precision, something inside you begins to calm down. You stop comparing, you stop chasing blindly, you stop panicking when things don't go your way. Because now you understand nothing that is meant for you will ever miss you. And nothing that misses you was ever meant for you. My beloved brothers and sisters, let me take you deeper into this understanding. Think about all the things you once wanted so badly, things you prayed for, things you thought would make you happy. Some of them you never got. At that time, it hurt, it confused you, it made you question everything. But today, when you look back, you realize something. Some of those things would have actually harmed you. Some of those paths would have led you to pain. Some of those people would have broken you in ways you could not imagine. And Allah, in His mercy, kept them away from you. Not because He wanted to punish you, but because He wanted to protect you. So the next time something doesn't come your way, don't let your heart collapse. Instead, remind yourself, if it didn't reach me, it was not written for me. And if it is written for me, it will come at the exact time it is meant to come, not a moment early, not a moment late. And when that belief settles deep into your heart, stress begins to lose its power over you, because now you are no longer afraid of missing out. You are at peace, knowing that what belongs to you is already on its way. When things don't go your way, it is still going right. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest reasons your heart becomes restless is because life does not go according to your plan. You expected something, it didn't happen. You worked for something, it slipped away. You trusted something, it broke. And in that moment, your heart begins to question everything. Why did this happen? Why didn't it work out? What did I do wrong? And slowly, stress begins to grow. Not because of the situation itself, but because you cannot see the wisdom behind it. You are looking at a closed door, but Allah is looking at the entire journey. You are feeling the pain of the moment, but Allah knows the outcome of every path. And this is where your heart needs to shift, because what you see as a loss may actually be a protection. What you see as a failure may actually be a redirection. What you see as the end may actually be the beginning of something far greater. My beloved brothers and sisters, understand this deeply. If everything always went your way, you would walk into things that could destroy you. If every door opened, you would enter places that could break you. If every dua was answered exactly when you wanted, you would receive things you are not ready for. So sometimes Allah closes doors. Sometimes He delays outcomes. Sometimes He takes something away, not to hurt you, but to guide you. Not to break you, but to save you. And the problem is, you judge the situation based on what you feel right now. But Allah's plan is not based on the present moment. It is based on your entire life, your future, your akhirah. So when something doesn't go your way, it does not mean life is going wrong. It means something bigger is being arranged. My beloved brothers and sisters, listen carefully to this powerful reminder from Allah. حُبِّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, reflect on this. You may hate something while it is actually good for you. And you may love something while it is actually bad for you. But Allah knows and you do not know. This one understanding alone can remove so much stress from your heart. Because now, when something doesn't go your way, you don't collapse. You pause and you remind yourself, there is something here that I cannot see yet. Instead of breaking down, you hold on. Instead of questioning, you trust. Because you know, the one who planned this moment knows exactly what He is doing. My beloved brothers and sisters, let me take you even deeper. Think about a time in your life when something went completely against your plan. At that time, it hurt, it confused you, it made no sense. But months later or years later, you looked back and realized that was actually the best thing that could have happened. Now imagine how many things in your life right now will make sense later. But because you cannot see that future yet, you are stressing in the present. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what is Allah preparing me for? Because nothing in your life is random. Every closed door, every delay, every unexpected turn is part of a plan that is far greater than your understanding. So don't let your heart be trapped in the moment. Lift your trust above what you see and remind yourself, even when things don't go your way, they are still going exactly the way they are meant to go. Delays are part of the plan. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most difficult tests of the heart is waiting. Not waiting for a few minutes, not waiting for a small answer, but waiting for something your heart has been asking for again and again, while nothing in front of you seems to be changing. You make dua, you try, you remain patient for some time, but then the days become weeks, the weeks become months, and sometimes the months become years. And when you look around, you begin to feel as though everyone else is moving forward while you are still standing in the same place. Someone else is getting the opportunity you wanted. Someone else is entering the door you were hoping would open for you. Someone else is celebrating the blessing you have been quietly begging Allah for. And that is when stress enters the heart, not because Allah has abandoned you, but because your mind has started measuring Allah's plan according to your own clock. You need to understand that delay does not mean denial. Delay does not mean rejection. Delay does not mean Allah has forgotten your tears, your prayers, your effort, or your pain. Sometimes the thing you want is good, but the timing is not good. Sometimes the door you are asking to enter is a beautiful door, but if it opens too early, you may not have the strength, wisdom, maturity, or spiritual grounding to handle what is behind it. So Allah, out of His mercy, holds it back until your heart is ready, until your character is ready, until your environment is ready, until circumstances you cannot see are arranged in a way that protects you rather than harms you. Many people become stressed because they think that if something is not happening now, it will never happen. But who told you that the plan of Allah ends where your patience ends? Who told you that because you cannot see progress, there is no progress? Sometimes the most important changes are happening quietly. Sometimes Allah is removing things from your path before allowing you to walk further. Sometimes He is changing your heart before changing your situation. Sometimes He is teaching you patience, humility, reliance, gratitude, discipline, and sincerity before giving you the thing you are asking for, because the blessing without those qualities may become a test you cannot survive. Look at your own life. How many things did you want at one time, but now you are grateful they were delayed? How many people did you want to stay, but now you understand why Allah allowed distance? How many opportunities did you cry over, but later you realized they would have taken you away from your peace, your deen, your family, your purpose, or your self-respect? At the time, you only saw the delay. Later, you saw the wisdom. At the time, you only felt the pain. Later, you saw the protection. At the time, you thought Allah was keeping something from you. Later, you realized Allah was keeping you away from something that could have damaged you deeply. This is why you must be very careful with your thoughts during waiting seasons. Shaitan comes to you in delay and whispers, Allah is not answering you, Allah is not listening to you. Maybe your dua is useless. Maybe your life will never change. And if you keep listening to those whispers, your heart will begin to weaken. You will still pray but without hope. You will still make dua but without certainty. You will still move forward but with a heart full of bitterness. And that is exactly what Shaitan wants. He cannot control the plan of Allah, but he tries to poison your trust while the plan is unfolding. So when you are waiting, protect your heart. Do not allow delay to make you disrespect the wisdom of Allah. Do not allow silence to make you assume absence. Allah's silence is not neglect. Allah's timing is not late. Allah's plan is not confused. The one who created the heavens and the earth with perfect order is not unaware of the heaviness in your chest. The one who knows the movement of every leaf knows the movement of every tear inside your heart. The one who feeds the birds in the sky has not forgotten the needs of His servant who raises their hands in the darkness of the night. Sometimes you want the blessing, but Allah wants to build you first. You want the marriage, but Allah wants to heal your heart first so you do not enter it broken and bleed on someone who did not wound you. You want the job, but Allah wants to teach you discipline first so success does not make you arrogant. You want wealth, But Allah wants to strengthen your character first, so money does not pull you away from Him. You want recognition, but Allah wants to purify your intention first, so praise from people does not become your hidden God. You want relief, but Allah wants your relationship with Him to become stronger before the relief arrives, so that when life becomes easy, you do not forget the one who carried you through hardship. And this is one of the hidden beauties of delay. Delay reveals what is inside you. It shows you whether you worship Allah only when you receive, or whether you worship Him because He is Allah. It shows you whether your trust is real, or whether it depends only on getting what you want quickly. It shows you whether you are patient because you believe, or only patient because you expect the test to end immediately. Waiting is not empty time. Waiting is a classroom. Waiting is training. Waiting is purification. Waiting is where Allah teaches the heart to stop depending on the creation and start depending completely on the Creator. Many of us say, I trust Allah, but the moment things are delayed, panic takes over. We say Allah is the best planner, but when our plan is interrupted, we become angry, restless, and hopeless. So Allah allows delay to show us the truth of our own words. Not to embarrass us, but to strengthen us. Not to expose us to others, but to reveal ourselves to ourselves. Because when you know where your trust is weak, you can work on it. When you know where your heart is attached too tightly to the world, you can loosen that attachment. When you realize you have been depending more on outcomes than on Allah, you can return your heart to the right place. My beloved brothers and sisters, your waiting is not wasted. Every day you remain patient while your heart is hurting, Allah sees it. Every time you choose not to complain in a way that displeases Him, Allah knows it. Every time you stop yourself from falling into haram because you are tired of waiting, Allah records it. Every time you say, Oh Allah, I do not understand, but I trust you, that moment has value. It may be the very moment that raises your rank. It may be the moment that brings you closer to Allah than the blessing itself ever could. Do not think the only answer to dua is receiving exactly what you asked for immediately. Sometimes Allah gives you what you asked for. Sometimes He gives you something better. Sometimes He protects you from harm you never saw. Sometimes He delays it until the timing is perfect. Sometimes He stores the reward for you in the hereafter, where you will wish that even more of your duas had been saved for that eternal life. So never reduce the response of Allah to one form. Allah's mercy is greater than your imagination, and His response may come in a way your limited mind does not recognize at first. The problem is that we are impatient because we are looking at one page while Allah knows the whole book. We are looking at one scene while Allah knows the entire story. We are looking at one closed door while Allah knows every road behind it. And because we only see a small piece, we panic when that piece does not make sense. But the believer learns to say, I do not need to see the whole picture in order to trust the one who painted it. This is the peace that Tawakkul gives you. It does not always remove the waiting, but it removes the panic from the waiting. So if you are in a season of delay right now, do not insult your journey by calling it failure. Do not look at your life and say, nothing is happening, when Allah may be arranging everything in a way you cannot yet understand. The seed placed under the soil does not see the sun immediately, but it is not dead, it is growing in a hidden place. The child in the womb is unseen for months, but life is forming. The dawn is not visible at midnight, but it is already on its way. In the same way, just because your relief is not visible does not mean it is not being prepared. Your duty is not to force the unseen to appear before its time. Your duty is to remain faithful while the unseen is being arranged. Keep making dua. Keep taking the right steps. Keep improving yourself. Keep asking Allah for goodness. Keep leaving what displeases Him. Keep your heart clean. Keep your tongue away from hopeless words. Keep reminding yourself that Allah's delay is not like the delay of people. People delay because they forget, because they are weak, because they are busy, because they are incapable, because they do not care. Allah delays with wisdom, with mercy, with knowledge, with power, and with perfect timing. Nearly at the end of this lesson, understand this deeply. If Allah is making you wait, He is not wasting you. He is preparing you. He is protecting you. He is teaching you. He is drawing you closer. He is shaping your heart in ways comfort never could. And when the right moment arrives, the thing that once felt impossible can happen so quickly that you will realize it was never difficult for Allah. It was only being held until the time written for it. So do not let delay steal your peace. Do not let waiting make you bitter. Do not let the slow movement of life convince you that Allah has stopped planning. The plan is still moving. The mercy is still flowing. The wisdom is still present. The answer is still possible. And the one who heard your first dua is still hearing you today. Your stress says it is taking too long. Your faith says Allah knows the perfect time. Your stress says maybe it will never happen. Your faith says if it is good for me, Allah will bring it. Your stress says I cannot handle this waiting. Your faith says Allah will not abandon me in it. So breathe, be patient, keep your trust alive. The delay is not outside the plan. The delay is part of the plan. Your struggle is not wasted. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most painful feelings in this life is when you are going through something heavy and you feel like nobody truly understands what it is doing to you. People may see you walking, speaking, working, smiling, replying to messages, doing your responsibilities, and because you are still standing, they assume you are fine. But they do not know the battles you are fighting inside your chest. They do not know how many thoughts attack you when you are alone. They do not know how many times you have had to hold yourself together when you felt like falling apart. They do not know the strength it takes for you to wake up and continue when your heart is tired, your mind is exhausted, and your soul is silently asking Allah for relief. And when a person keeps going through pain quietly, one dangerous thought begins to appear. The thought says, what is the point of all this? Why am I trying so hard? Why am I being patient? Why am I making dua? Why am I holding on when nothing seems to be changing? This thought can become very heavy because stress does not only make you tired, it tries to make your struggle feel meaningless. It tries to convince you that your patience has no value, your tears have no purpose, your effort has no reward, and your pain has no ending. But the believer must never allow stress to define the meaning of the test. Your pain may be hidden from people, but it is not hidden from Allah. Your struggle may be misunderstood by people, but it is fully known by Allah. Your patience may be ignored by people, but it is recorded by Allah. You need to understand something very deeply. Allah does not waste anything that you endure for His sake. Not one tear, not one silent prayer, not one moment of patience. Not one time you controlled your anger. Not one time you chose halal when haram was easier. Not one time you kept quiet when you could have humiliated someone. Not one time you forgave when your ego wanted revenge. Not one time you got up for salah while your heart felt broken. Not one time you raised your hands in dua while feeling empty inside. Not one time you whispered, "Oh Allah, help me," when nobody else knew how badly you were struggling. People may forget what you went through. People may not appreciate the sacrifices you made. People may not understand how hard it was for you to remain good when life was being hard on you. But Allah knows. And when Allah knows, you have not lost. When Allah sees, your patience is not wasted. When Allah records, your effort has value even if the world never claps for it. Sometimes you think your struggle is only hurting you, but in reality, Allah may be using that very struggle to build you. You may think this test is only breaking your heart, but perhaps it is removing from your heart attachments that were slowly destroying you. You may think this hardship is only delaying your life, but perhaps it is protecting you from a road that looked beautiful but carried pain you were not able to see. You may think this pressure is only weakening you, but perhaps it is teaching you how to rely on Allah in a way comfort never taught you. You may think you are losing everything, but perhaps Allah is removing what would have kept you away from Him. This is why you must not judge your test too early. A person who looks at a seed buried under the soil may think it has disappeared, but that hidden place is where growth begins. A person who sees a piece of metal placed into fire may think it is being destroyed, but the heat is shaping it into something stronger. A person who sees a wound being cleaned may think the pain is unnecessary, but that cleaning may be the reason healing becomes possible. In the same way, you may look at your life right now and think, I am buried, I am burning, I am wounded. But Allah may be growing you, shaping you, cleansing you, and preparing you for something your current self cannot yet carry. Many people ask Allah for strength, but when Allah places them in a situation that requires strength, they become confused. Many people ask Allah for patience, but when Allah allows a delay that teaches patience, they become restless. Many people ask Allah for closeness, but when Allah removes the distractions that kept them far, they become upset. Many people ask Allah for a pure heart, but when Allah exposes the hidden attachments, the hidden pride, the hidden fears, the hidden dependence on people, they feel uncomfortable. But purification is not always comfortable. Growth is not always soft. Healing is not always gentle at the beginning. Sometimes Allah's mercy comes in a form that your heart does not recognize immediately. Look at what hardship does to a sincere believer. Before the hardship, maybe the person was moving through life without much reflection. Maybe salah was rushed. Maybe dua was weak. Maybe the heart was too attached to people, money, status, plans, or comfort. Maybe the person thought life would always move according to their own timetable. Then suddenly a test came and everything changed. The heart that rarely cried before Allah began to cry. The tongue that rarely asked Allah sincerely began to ask. The forehead that touched the ground quickly began to remain longer in sujood. The person who once depended on everyone began to realize that only Allah is truly dependable. So was the struggle wasted? No. It woke up the heart. It returned the servant to Allah. It exposed the weakness of the world. It showed the person that no human being, no plan, no job, no relationship, no amount of money, and no worldly support can replace the need for Allah. And that realization alone is a mercy greater than many worldly gifts. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you are stressed, you often focus only on what the test is taking from you. You say, this test took my peace, it took my sleep, it took my comfort, it took certain people away from me, it took my plans away from me. But have you asked yourself what Allah may be giving you through it? Maybe He is giving you wisdom, maybe He is giving you humility, maybe He is giving you protection. Maybe He is giving you a stronger connection with Him. Maybe He is giving you a heart that no longer runs after people who do not value it. Maybe He is giving you the courage to leave what was harming you. Maybe He is giving you discipline, maturity, patience, and a deeper understanding of life. Not everything that hurts you is sent to destroy you. Some pain comes to awaken you. Some pain comes to redirect you. Some pain comes to purify you. Some pain comes to make you softer towards others. Some pain comes to teach you that you were never meant to depend on this world as though it was permanent. The person who has suffered with faith becomes different. They do not look at people the same way. They become more merciful because they know what hidden pain feels like. They become less judgmental because they understand that every person may be carrying a battle nobody can see. They become more careful with their words because they know words can either heal or wound. They become more humble because hardship has shown them their limits. They become more connected to Allah because they have learned that when everyone else leaves, Allah remains. This is not wasted pain. This is training. This is transformation. This is a heart being educated by Allah through life itself. But you must be careful because the same struggle that can bring you closer to Allah can also make you bitter if you respond to it wrongly. Hardship does not automatically make a person better. It depends on what you do with it. One person goes through pain and becomes closer to Allah, more humble, more sincere, more compassionate. Another person goes through pain and becomes angry, harsh, hopeless, and distant from Allah. The difference is not only the test, the difference is the response. So when stress comes, do not only ask Allah to remove the problem, ask Allah to improve your response. Ask Allah to protect your heart from bitterness. Ask Allah to make the hardship a means of guidance, not a reason for distance. Because sometimes the greatest danger is not the test itself, but what the test does to your heart. If the test makes you abandon salah, lose hope in Allah, speak with ingratitude, fall into haram, or become cruel to others, then the test has damaged your inner state. But if the test makes you turn back to Allah, make more dua, become more patient, forgive more, depend less on people, and seek halal ways forward, then even though the test is painful, it is carrying goodness for you. Do not let your stress turn you against the one who is carrying you through the stress. Do not let your pain make you run away from the only one who can heal it. Do not let the delay make you doubt the wisdom of the one who controls time. Do not let people's failure make you forget Allah's perfection. People may disappoint you, but Allah does not betray. People may misunderstand you, but Allah knows you completely. People may leave, but Allah is never absent. People may judge the outside, but Allah knows the inside. And this should give your heart rest. You do not need to explain every wound to everyone. You do not need to prove your pain to people who have already decided not to understand. You do not need to beg for sympathy from hearts that are careless with your feelings. Take your pain to Allah. Speak to Allah. Cry to Allah. Complain to Allah in a way that shows trust, not disrespect. Say, "Oh Allah, I am weak and you are strong. I am tired and you are my source of strength. I do not understand, but you know." I cannot carry this without you, so carry me through it. There is peace in knowing that Allah understands the language of your tears, even when your tongue has no words. Sometimes you sit on the prayer mat and you do not even know what to say. The pain is too much, the thoughts are too many, the heart is too tired. But even then, Allah knows. He knows what every tear means. He knows the pain behind the silence. He knows the dua hidden inside the breath you release. He knows what you wanted to say but could not express. So never think that because people did not hear you, nobody heard you. Allah heard what you never said. Allah saw what you never showed. Allah knew what you never explained. My beloved brothers and sisters, another reason your struggle is not wasted is because Allah may be using it to erase sins and raise your rank. Sometimes you are so focused on the difficulty of the test that you forget what the test may be doing for your hereafter. A believer's life is not only measured by comfort in this world. The believer understands that this world is temporary and every moment of patience can become treasure in the next life. You may see only pain now, but on the day of judgment you may see mountains of reward because you remained patient in a test nobody else understood. You may see sins forgiven because of tears you thought were useless. You may see ranks raised because of nights you thought were empty. This is why the believer is never truly losing when they are patient for the sake of Allah. Even if the world does not change immediately, the hereafter is being built. Even if people do not appreciate you, your record is being written. Even if the relief is delayed, the reward is not forgotten. Imagine a person working every day and not seeing payment immediately. If they trust the one who promised payment, they continue. Now what about Allah, the most generous? Do you think He will allow your patience to go unpaid? Do you think He will ignore the nights you fought your desires? Do you think He will forget the times you swallowed your pain and chose obedience? Never. Allah is more generous than you imagine. He rewards in ways you did not expect, at times you did not predict, and sometimes in forms you did not even know you needed. Maybe your reward will come as peace after a long storm. Maybe it will come as a door opening after years of delay. Maybe it will come as protection from a harm you never saw. Maybe it will come as a better replacement for what you lost. Maybe it will come as strength in your heart. Maybe it will come as forgiveness. Maybe it will come in Jannah, where every tear will finally make sense and every patient moment will be seen with a clarity this world could never give. So when your stress tells you this is useless, answer it with faith and say nothing done for Allah is useless. When your pain says nobody sees me, answer it and say Allah sees me. When your mind says I cannot continue, answer it and say Allah will give me strength for the next step. Do not argue with stress using more stress. Answer it with remembrance. Answer it with trust. Answer it with patience. And understand something else. Your struggle may one day become the reason someone else survives theirs. Today you are crying through a test. Tomorrow you may meet someone who is going through the same thing. And because Allah brought you through it, you will speak to them with sincerity. You will not speak from theory. You will speak from experience. You will tell them, I know it hurts, but don't give up. I know it feels dark, but Allah can bring light again. I know you feel alone, but Allah has not left you. And your words will carry weight because they came from a heart that has been tested. This is one of the beautiful ways Allah turns pain into purpose. He allows you to go through something, He carries you through it, He teaches you through it, and later He uses your story as comfort for someone else. The wound becomes wisdom, the hardship becomes a lesson. The tears become a language of mercy. The pain that once made you feel broken becomes the very reason you can help another broken heart feel seen. So do not be ashamed of the chapter you are in. Do not think your life is less valuable because you are struggling. Do not think Allah has abandoned you because your path is difficult. Some of the most beloved servants of Allah faced the hardest tests. Difficulty is not proof that Allah hates you. Ease is not always proof that Allah is pleased with someone. This world is a test, and tests come in different forms. Some are tested with poverty, some with wealth, some with loneliness, some with family, some with health, some with delay, some with loss, some with the very blessings they wanted. What matters is not only what you are given or what you are denied. What matters is how you respond to Allah in what you are given and what you are denied. If you are struggling right now, do not allow your struggle to make you forget your worth. You are not weak because you are tired. You are human. You are not faithless because you cry. Even strong believers cry. You are not failing because you feel pain. Pain is part of being alive. What matters is that even while you are hurting, you keep turning back to Allah. Even while you are tired, you do not let go of salah. Even while you do not understand, you do not accuse Allah of injustice. Even while you are waiting, you keep hope alive. The strongest people are not those who never feel pain. The strongest people are those who feel pain and still choose Allah. They feel fear but still make dua. They feel tired but still pray. They feel broken but still avoid haram. They feel alone but still trust that Allah is near. They feel delayed but still believe Allah's timing is perfect. That is strength, that is faith, that is a struggle that is not wasted. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, I want you to place your hand on your heart and remind yourself that Allah knows what this heart has carried. Allah knows the moments you nearly gave up but did not. Allah knows the nights when you were breaking quietly. Allah knows the sacrifices you made that nobody praised. Allah knows the good you did while you were hurting. Allah knows the patience you showed when reacting badly would have been easier. Allah knows the sins you left even when your desires were strong. Allah knows the words you held back to avoid hurting someone. Allah knows the loneliness you endured while still trusting Him. So do not say your struggle is wasted. It is being seen, it is being recorded, it is being used to shape you, it is being used to purify you, it is being used to bring you closer. It is being used to teach you what comfort could not teach you. It is being used to remove what was not meant for you and prepare you for what Allah has written for you. You may not understand today, you may not see the wisdom today, you may not feel strong today, but keep walking with Allah, keep asking Him for help, keep choosing what pleases Him. Keep your heart away from hopelessness, keep your tongue away from words that insult your destiny, keep your feet on the path of obedience even if your heart is limping. One day, by the permission of Allah, you will look back and realize that the test did not destroy you. It changed you, it taught you, it humbled you, it made you wiser, it made you softer, it made you more sincere, it showed you who truly cared, it showed you what really matters, it showed you that Allah was enough when everything else was shaking. And when that day comes, you will understand that Allah was not wasting your pain. He was writing something through it, He was building something within it, He was preparing something after it. So don't stress as though your hardship has no meaning. Don't panic as though your tears have no value. Don't lose hope as though your Lord is unaware. Allah is the planner, and the planner wastes nothing. Every tear has been seen, every dua has been heard, every patient breath has been counted, every painful step has been known. And every hardship carried with faith will meet the mercy of Allah in a way that will make the heart say, my Lord never abandoned me, my Lord was planning all along. Real peace comes from letting go. My beloved brothers and sisters, after everything we have spoken about, you need to understand that stress will continue to return to your heart as long as you keep trying to hold what Allah has asked you to release. Many people think peace will come when every problem is solved, when every person behaves correctly, when every door opens, when every question is answered, when every fear disappears, and when life finally becomes exactly the way they imagine. But this is not real peace. If your peace depends on everything around you becoming perfect, then your peace will always be delayed, because this world was never created to be perfect. This world will always have tests, surprises, delays, losses, misunderstandings, disappointments, and moments that do not make sense to you immediately. So, if you are waiting for life to become completely smooth before you allow your heart to rest, then you may spend your whole life tired. Real peace is not when you have no problems. Real peace is when your problems are placed in the hands of Allah and your heart stops pretending that it is the one responsible for controlling every outcome. Real peace is when you still have unanswered questions, but you no longer allow those questions to destroy your connection with Allah. Real peace is when you still have worries, but your worries do not become bigger in your heart than your Lord. Real peace is when you do your part with sincerity and then you surrender the result with trust. This is where the heart begins to breathe again. This is where the soul begins to relax. This is where stress starts losing its grip. Many people misunderstand letting go. They think letting go means you stop caring, you stop working, you stop making effort, you stop planning and you become passive. No, that is not trust. That is carelessness. A believer does not sit back and say, Allah is the planner, while refusing to take the steps Allah has placed in front of them. A believer ties the camel, then trusts Allah. A believer studies, applies, works, speaks truthfully, seeks halal, protects their heart, makes dua, takes the means and then leaves the result to Allah. Letting go does not mean abandoning effort. Letting go means abandoning the illusion that your effort controls the final outcome without Allah. This is very important because some people are stressed not because they are lazy, but because they are worshipping their own effort. They believe that if they think enough, plan enough, chase enough, explain enough, and control enough, then they can force life to obey them. But life does not obey you. Life obeys Allah. You can do everything correctly and still the result may be different from what you expected. You can plan carefully and still Allah may redirect you. You can love someone deeply and still they may leave. You can work hard and still the door may close. You can ask sincerely and still the answer may come in a form you did not expect. This is not failure. This is a reminder that you are a servant, not the planner of the universe. The heart becomes exhausted when it forgets its position. You are not Allah. You are not the controller of hearts. You are not the opener of every door. You are not the giver of rizq. You are not the one who decides the timing of relief. You are not the one who knows what is best in every hidden matter. You are the servant. Your honor is in surrendering to the Lord, not in trying to compete with His decree. When you remember your position, you stop carrying a weight that was never yours. You stop fighting the unseen. You stop demanding that life explain itself before you trust Allah. You begin to say, "Oh Allah, I will do what you have asked me to do and I will trust you with what only you can do." That sentence alone can change your life. I will do what you have asked me to do and I will trust you with what only you can do. You cannot force someone to love you correctly, but you can be sincere, respectful and wise. You cannot force every person to understand your heart, but you can speak truthfully and leave the rest to Allah. You cannot force a door to open before its time, but you can keep knocking through halal effort and dua. You cannot force your future to unfold according to your personal schedule, but you can prepare yourself, purify yourself and remain patient. You cannot control what people think about you, but you can control whether you live in a way that pleases Allah. This is where peace begins. When you separate your responsibility from Allah's decree, a lot of your stress is coming from mixing these two. You are taking responsibility for things Allah did not place in your hands, and you are neglecting some things Allah did place in your hands. You cannot control tomorrow, yet you spend hours worrying about it. But you can pray today, and sometimes you delay it. You cannot control people's hearts, yet you spend so much energy trying to make everyone approve of you. But you can control your tongue, and sometimes you allow it to speak in anger. You cannot control when relief arrives, yet you keep panicking about timing. But you can control whether you remain patient and obedient while waiting. So the path to peace is not controlling everything. The path to peace is returning each matter to its proper place. What belongs to you, handle it with sincerity. What belongs to Allah, surrender it with trust. Letting go also means letting go of the version of life you created in your head when Allah is clearly guiding you towards something else. Sometimes stress does not come from what is happening. It comes from your refusal to release what you thought should have happened. You are not only grieving the reality in front of you, you are grieving the imaginary life you built in your mind. You imagined the timeline. You imagined the person, you imagined the success, you imagined the perfect ending. Then Allah wrote something different, and instead of surrendering, your heart remained stuck arguing with the decree. This is why you feel tired. You are not only living your life, you are fighting the gap between your plan and Allah's plan. But ask yourself honestly, how many times did your plan look good at first, but later you realized Allah saved you from it? How many times did you think something was the end, but Allah made it the beginning of something better? How many times did you cry over a loss, then later thank Allah that it did not stay? So why do you still assume your plan is always safer than His? Why do you still think that if life does not match your imagination, then life is going wrong? Maybe it is not going wrong. Maybe it is going right in a way your imagination was too limited to design. The believer learns to hold plans in the hand, not in the heart. In the hand, you can release them when Allah chooses something better. In the heart, they become idols of expectation. When a plan becomes too deeply rooted in the heart, any change feels like destruction. But when Allah is rooted deeper than the plan, you can say, I wanted this, but Allah knows better. I tried for this, but Allah decided otherwise. I hoped for this, but Allah is still generous. I do not understand this, but I trust Him. This does not mean you do not feel pain. You may feel pain, you may cry, you may need time, but pain with trust is very different from pain with rebellion. Pain with trust softens the heart, pain with rebellion hardens it. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not confuse surrender with weakness. In the sight of Allah, surrender is strength. It takes strength to stop chasing what Allah is pulling away from you. It takes strength to remain silent when your ego wants to prove itself to everyone. It takes strength to forgive when your heart has been hurt. It takes strength to walk away from haram even when your emotions are attached. It takes strength to say Allah is enough for me. when people have failed you. It takes strength to accept that a closed door is not always an insult. Sometimes it is protection. The one who surrenders to Allah is not weak. They are stronger than the one who is controlled by fear, ego, desire, and panic. And look at how much stress comes from ego. You are stressed because you want people to see your worth. You are stressed because you want to prove that you were right. You are stressed because someone misunderstood you and now your mind is burning with the desire to correct every opinion. You are stressed because you cannot accept that some people will never apologize. Some people will never understand. Some people will never value what you did. And some people will leave with a false story about you. But real peace begins when you stop living as though your dignity depends on people's opinions. Your dignity comes from Allah. Your worth comes from Allah. Your record is with Allah. If Allah knows the truth, why should your heart destroy itself trying to force every creation to know it? This does not mean you never defend yourself. Sometimes you must speak, clarify, and stand for justice. But after you have done what is right, leave the hearts of people to Allah. Do not spend your nights mentally arguing with people who are sleeping peacefully. Do not keep reopening wounds just to win a conversation that already ended. Do not destroy your present because someone from your past did not recognize your sincerity. Allah saw it. Allah knows it. Allah will deal with it. Let that be enough for your heart. Letting go also means releasing the need to know everything right now. Some people cannot find peace because they demand immediate explanations from Allah. They want to understand every delay, every loss, every closed door, every disappointment, every painful chapter, and every unanswered dua. But this life is not the place where every wisdom is revealed immediately. Sometimes Allah shows you the wisdom in days, sometimes in months, sometimes in years, sometimes not until the hereafter. Your trust cannot depend on quick explanations. If you only trust Allah after you understand the wisdom, then you are not trusting Allah, you are trusting your understanding. True trust is when you do not understand but you still know that Allah is wise. True trust is when you do not see the road but you still know that Allah sees it. True trust is when the heart says, "My Lord knows even when I do not know." This is where peace becomes powerful, because once you accept that you do not need to understand everything in order to trust Allah, your heart is freed from a heavy prison. You stop demanding answers that are not yet meant for you. You stop torturing yourself with why after why after why. You stop replaying the same situation every night, searching for a wisdom that Allah may reveal later. Instead, you say, "Oh Allah, show me what I need to learn. Forgive me for what I did wrong. Protect me from what I cannot see. And make me pleased with what you have chosen for me." This is not denial, this is faith. Many of us want peace, but we keep feeding the thoughts that destroy peace. We say, "I trust Allah," but then we spend hours imagining every disaster. We say, "Allah is the planner," but then we keep checking, doubting, fearing, comparing, and overthinking. We say, "What is meant for me will come," but then we become jealous when someone else receives a blessing. So we must be honest with ourselves. Peace is not only a feeling you ask Allah for. Peace is also a discipline. You have to discipline your thoughts. You have to discipline your tongue. You have to discipline your eyes from constantly comparing. You have to discipline your heart from returning to the same fears again and again. When a stressful thought comes, do not invite it in and serve it tea. Do not sit with it for hours. Do not allow it to build a house in your mind. Recognize it and return it to Allah. Say to yourself, "This is not in my hands. I will take the means and I will trust Allah." If the thought returns, return again to Allah. If it returns 100 times, return 100 times. You are training your heart. The heart that has been overthinking for years will not become peaceful in one moment. But every time you choose trust over panic, you weaken the habit of anxiety and strengthen the habit of tawakkul. You also need to stop treating every thought as truth. Not every fear is a warning. Not every worry is wisdom. Not every anxious idea is reality. Sometimes your mind creates stories that have not happened and may never happen. Then your body reacts as if they are real. Your heart races, your sleep disappears, your mood changes, and all of this happens over a situation that only exists in your imagination. This is why faith is so important. Faith brings you back to what is real. Allah is real. His power is real. His mercy is real. His knowledge is real. His promise is real. Your imagined disaster is not necessarily real. So do not give your imagination more authority than your Lord. Letting go means you stop punishing yourself for not knowing the future. You were not created to know the future. You were created to trust the one who knows it. A child walking with a loving parent does not need to know every turn of the road. The child feels safe because of the one holding their hand. And Allah is greater than any example. If you know that Allah is guiding, providing, protecting, watching, hearing and planning, then why does your heart behave as though you have been abandoned in a dark road alone? You are not alone. You never were. Even when you felt alone, Allah was there. Even when people left, Allah remained. Even when doors closed, Allah was still able to open others. Even when you were weak, Allah was still strong. This is why the remembrance of Allah is not a small matter. Many people are searching for peace in distraction. They scroll, they watch, they talk, they sleep, they eat, they keep themselves busy, and for a while the mind becomes distracted. But distraction is not peace. Distraction only covers the wound for a short time. When the screen turns off and the room becomes quiet, the pain returns. Real peace comes from the one who owns the heart. The heart was created by Allah, so the heart cannot be truly settled without Allah. You can entertain the mind, but only Allah can calm the soul. You can distract yourself from stress, but only Allah can remove the weight from the chest. So when you feel overwhelmed, return to Allah before you return to everything else. Make wudu, pray 2 units, sit quietly and make dua. Read what brings your heart back to Him. Speak to Allah honestly. Tell Him your weakness. Tell Him your fears. Tell Him you are tired. Tell Him you need help. Not because He does not know, but because you need to remember that you are speaking to the one who can change everything. There is a kind of relief that comes only after a servant admits their helplessness before Allah. As long as you are pretending to be strong on your own, you will continue to feel crushed. But when you say, "Oh Allah, I cannot do this without you," a door of strength opens inside the heart. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, understand that letting go is not one action. It is a daily act of worship. Every morning you may need to surrender again. Every night you may need to hand your worries back to Allah again. Every time a fear returns, you may need to say again, Allah is the planner. Every time something does not go your way, you may need to remind yourself again, Allah knows what I do not know. Every time people disappoint you, you may need to return your expectations back to Allah again. This is a journey. Do not be harsh with yourself because you still feel stress sometimes. The goal is not to never feel worry. The goal is to not let worry become your Lord. The goal is to feel worry, then bring it back under the authority of faith. There will be days when your heart feels strong and surrender feels easy. And there will be days when the same issue hurts again, the same fear returns again, the same wound opens again. On those days, do not say, "I have failed." Say, "I am human and I am returning to Allah again." Returning again is beloved. Trusting again is powerful. Standing again is part of faith. The servant who keeps returning to Allah, even with a trembling heart, is not abandoned. Allah knows the effort it takes for you to trust while you are afraid. Allah knows the courage it takes for you to smile while you are waiting. Allah knows the strength it takes for you to let go of what your heart wanted but Allah did not write for you. And sometimes after you let go, Allah returns the thing to you in a better way. Sometimes after you let go, Allah replaces it with something better. Sometimes after you let go, Allah removes the desire from your heart and gives you peace without it. Sometimes after you let go, Allah shows you why it was never meant to stay. And sometimes after you let go, you simply become free. Free from obsession, free from fear, free from needing people to complete you, free from worshipping outcomes, free from the constant pressure of trying to control the unseen. That freedom is a blessing. To sleep at night knowing that you did your best and Allah will handle the rest is a blessing. To walk through uncertainty without being destroyed by it is a blessing. To lose something and still not lose Allah is a blessing. To be delayed but not hopeless is a blessing. To be hurt but not bitter is a blessing. To be tested but still trusting is a blessing. These are gifts that no amount of money can buy because they are gifts placed directly into the heart by Allah. So do not chase peace only in changed circumstances. Ask Allah to change the state of your heart, because if your heart learns to trust Allah, you can have peace even before the problem is solved. You can breathe even before the door opens. You can smile even before the answer arrives. You can keep going even before the road becomes clear. This does not mean the pain disappears completely, but it means the pain no longer owns you. It means the stress no longer controls your worship, your character, your decisions, and your hope. Let go of the idea that you must understand everything. Let go of the belief that every closed door is a punishment. Let go of the fear that what is meant for you can be stolen. Let go of the need to prove your worth to people who do not see it. Let go of the timeline that is making you hate your own journey. Let go of the comparison that is poisoning your gratitude. Let go of the overthinking that is stealing the peace Allah wants for you. Let go, not into emptiness, but into the care of Allah. Because when you let go into the care of Allah, you are not losing control to chaos. You are surrendering control to the Most Wise. You are not giving up. You are giving the matter back to the one who owned it before you ever worried about it. You are not walking away from responsibility. You are walking away from panic. You are not saying nothing matters. You are saying Allah matters more than my fear. So tonight, when your mind becomes loud and stress tries to enter again, remind yourself gently but firmly, I have done what I can. I will keep doing what is right. But the outcome belongs to Allah. Say it until your heart begins to understand. Say it when you are afraid. Say it when you are waiting. Say it when the door is closed. Say it when people misunderstand you. Say it when the plan changes. Say it when you feel weak. The outcome belongs to Allah. And once the heart accepts this truth, even a difficult life becomes lighter, because you are no longer carrying tomorrow on your shoulders. You are walking today with Allah. You are no longer drowning in every possible outcome. You are trusting the one who controls every outcome. You are no longer begging the world to make you feel safe. You are finding safety in the one who created the world. This is real peace. Not a life without tests, but a heart that knows who is in control during the test. Not a journey without pain, but a soul that knows pain is not greater than Allah's mercy. Not a future you can predict, but a future held by the one who loves his servants, hears their dua, sees their tears, and plans with perfect wisdom. So don't stress as though you are alone. Don't panic as though Allah is unaware. Don't hold so tightly to what Allah is asking you to release. Take your step, make your dua, do what is right, and then place the matter with Allah. Let your heart rest there. Let your trust live there. Let your peace grow there. Because real peace begins the moment you stop trying to be the planner and return to being the servant. And there is no safer place for the servant than under the care of Allah. Allah's plan is always perfect. My beloved brothers and sisters, after all the stress, after all the waiting, after all the confusion, after all the doors that closed, after all the people who left, after all the plans that did not work, after all the tears you wiped when nobody was watching, the heart must finally arrive at one truth. Allah's plan is always perfect, not sometimes perfect. Not only perfect when it matches your wishes, not only perfect when it brings comfort quickly. Allah's plan is perfect even when it is painful, even when it is delayed, even when it is confusing, even when it takes something away, even when it does not look like mercy at the beginning. This is the point where faith becomes real. It is easy to say Allah is the best planner when everything is going according to your desire. It is easy to trust when the door opens quickly, when the dua is answered in the way you expected, when the person stays, when the job comes, when the sickness leaves, when the sadness disappears, when the path becomes clear. But the real test is when life moves in a direction you did not choose and your heart still says, Allah knows better than me. The real test is when your mind is full of questions, but your tongue refuses to speak words of hopelessness. The real test is when you do not understand the wisdom, but you still refuse to accuse Allah of injustice. Many people lose their peace because they believe that if something hurts, it cannot be good. But this is not true. Some of the most beneficial things in your life may first arrive in a painful form. Medicine can be bitter, but it heals. Surgery can hurt, but it removes what is dangerous. Discipline can be difficult, but it builds strength. Loss can be painful, but it can free you from what was quietly destroying you. Delay can be heavy, but it can protect you from arriving too early at a place your heart was not ready to handle. A closed door can feel like rejection, but it can be Allah saving you from a room full of harm you could not see. So do not judge Allah's plan by the first feeling it gives you. Your first feeling may be pain, fear, disappointment, shock, or confusion, but the first feeling is not the final wisdom. Many times, what hurt you in the beginning became the very thing you later thanked Allah for. Many times what made you cry at night became the reason you became stronger, wiser, humbler, softer, and closer to Allah. Many times what looked like an ending was actually Allah moving you away from a smaller life and towards something He had written with greater wisdom. You wanted one thing because you could only see one direction. Allah chose another because He sees all directions. You wanted one person because you only saw what they showed you. Allah knew what was hidden in their heart, their future, their intentions, their effect on your faith, and the pain they may have brought into your life later. You wanted one opportunity because you saw the outside of it. Allah knew the stress behind it, the harm inside it, the arrogance it could awaken, the distance from Him it could cause, or the better opening that was being prepared after it. You wanted one timeline because you thought you were ready. Allah knew what needed to mature inside you before the blessing arrived. This is why you must stop treating your limited vision as if it is complete knowledge. You and I see a small part of the picture, and even that small part we often misunderstand. We see today, but Allah knows tomorrow. We see the action, but Allah knows the intention. We see the loss, but Allah knows the protection. We see the delay, but Allah knows the preparation. We see the closed door, but Allah knows the road behind it. We see the person leaving, but Allah knows what their staying would have done to our heart. We see the plan breaking, but Allah knows how to build something better from the pieces. Your stress says this is not how it was supposed to happen. Your faith says this is how Allah allowed it to happen, and Allah never allows anything without wisdom. Your stress says, I have lost too much. Your faith says Allah can replace, restore, heal and reward. Your stress says my life is falling apart. Your faith says maybe Allah is removing what cannot come with me into the next chapter. Your stress says I cannot see the way. Your faith says Allah sees the way and that is enough. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the beginning of this lesson, remind yourself that Allah does not need your life to make sense to you before He can make it beautiful. Allah does not need your understanding in order for His wisdom to be perfect. Allah does not need your approval in order for His decree to be filled with mercy. Sometimes the greatest peace comes when the servant stops demanding full understanding and begins to surrender with humility. You say, Oh Allah, I wanted it differently, but I trust you. Oh Allah, I thought this was best, but you know best. Oh Allah, my heart is hurting, but I will not let my pain make me forget your mercy. This is a very high level of faith. It does not mean you do not feel sadness. It does not mean you do not cry. It does not mean you are never disappointed. Even the righteous feel pain. Even the strongest believers have moments where the heart trembles. But the believer's pain does not become rebellion. The believer's tears do not become accusation. The believer's sadness does not become hopelessness. The believer may say, I am hurt, but does not say, Allah has abandoned me. The believer may say, I do not understand, but does not say, Allah has wronged me. The believer may say, this is difficult, but does not say, there is no wisdom. That is the difference between a heart that is stressed and a heart that is surrendered. Both may face the same problem, but one is drowning in panic while the other is held by trust. Both may be waiting, but one is bitter while the other is hopeful. Both may be hurt, but one is moving away from Allah while the other is moving closer to Allah. The situation may be the same, but the inner state is completely different. And sometimes Allah does not change the situation immediately because He is first changing the heart that is inside the situation. A heart that truly believes Allah's plan is perfect begins to live differently. It stops chasing people who are not written for it. It stops begging for doors that Allah keeps closing. It stops comparing its journey to someone else's journey. It stops measuring Allah's love by how quickly life becomes easy. It stops assuming every delay is a punishment. It stops thinking every loss is destruction. It stops trying to force what Allah is gently removing. It stops panicking when life changes direction. Instead, that heart becomes calm in a way the world cannot understand. It still works, but it does not worship work. It still plans, but it does not worship the plan. It still loves, but it does not worship people. It still hopes, but it does not place hope above Allah's wisdom. It still feels pain, but it does not allow pain to erase faith. It says, I will do my part and Allah will decide what is best. I will walk through the door if He opens it and I will step away if He closes it. I will make dua, but I will trust His answer. I will strive, but I will not become destroyed if the result is different. This is where stress loses its power. Stress thrives when you think everything depends on you. Stress grows when you believe one missed opportunity has ruined your entire destiny. Stress becomes heavy when you think one person leaving means your life has lost value. Stress controls you when you believe one closed door means every door is closed. But when you believe Allah is the planner, you stop giving one event the power to define your whole life. You stop saying this is the end because you know Allah can create beginnings from places you never imagined. How many times did you think you had reached the end and Allah opened another way? How many times did you think you could not survive a certain pain and today you are still here? How many times did you think a loss would destroy you, but Allah slowly rebuilt you? How many times did you think you were alone, but Allah sent help through unexpected means? How many times did you think a door closing was the worst thing, but later you realized it was protection? If Allah has carried you through yesterday, why do you think He will abandon you tomorrow? Your life is full of evidence that Allah was planning even when you were panicking. You did not understand many things when they happened, but later you saw small pieces of the wisdom. And even the things you still do not understand are not proof that there is no wisdom. They are only proof that the wisdom has not yet been shown to you. The unseen is still unseen. The plan is still unfolding. The story is not finished. Do not judge the entire book by one painful page. Some people are living in constant stress because they keep rereading one painful page of their life and calling it the whole story. One betrayal, one failure, one rejection, one delay, one mistake, one loss, one disappointment, and they decide that nothing good remains, but Allah is still writing. You are still breathing. The door of dua is still open. The mercy of Allah is still greater than your past. The future has not yet arrived. Your story is not over because one chapter hurt you. A painful chapter is still only a chapter. It is not the whole book. And sometimes the chapter you wanted to skip becomes the chapter that changes everything. It teaches you who you are. It teaches you who people are. It teaches you how weak the world is. It teaches you how strong Allah makes you when you depend on Him. It teaches you patience, courage, forgiveness, humility, boundaries, sincerity, and trust. It removes your illusion of control. It softens your heart. It matures your soul. It makes your dua deeper. It makes your salah different. It makes your tears more honest. It makes your relationship with Allah more real than it ever was before. So do not hate the whole plan because one part of it hurts. You may not see the beauty yet, but beauty does not always appear immediately. The foundation of a building is dug into the ground before the walls rise. The beginning looks messy. There is dust, digging, breaking, noise, and emptiness. But without that stage, the structure cannot stand. In your life, Allah may be building something deep before He allows something visible to rise. The hidden work may be painful, but it may be necessary for the visible blessing that comes later. And never forget that Allah's plan is not only about this world. This is where many people misunderstand life. They think Allah's plan must always mean worldly success immediately. They think if Allah loves them, every difficulty should disappear quickly. But Allah is not only planning your comfort for a few years in this dunya, Allah is planning for your eternal success. Sometimes what is best for your akhirah is not what feels easiest for your dunya. Sometimes the hardship you hate becomes a means of forgiveness. Sometimes the delay you dislike becomes a means of patience. Sometimes the loss you cry over becomes a means of protection. Sometimes the test you want removed becomes the reason your rank is raised. If you only look at dunya, some parts of life will confuse you. But when you remember the akhirah, the heart becomes wider. You realize that nothing carried with patience is wasted. You realize that Allah can reward a hidden tear with eternal mercy. You realize that a short hardship in this temporary world can become everlasting reward in the next. You realize that the believer is never truly losing when they remain connected to Allah. Even pain becomes valuable when it brings you closer to the one who owns Jannah. This is why the believer's trust is so powerful. The believer does not say, I only accept Allah's plan if I get exactly what I want in this world. The believer says, Oh Allah, choose for me what is best for my dunya and my akhirah. If what I want will bring me closer to you, grant it to me with blessing. If it will take me away from you, remove it from my heart and replace it with what is better. This dua is not easy because sometimes your heart wants what your soul does not need. Sometimes your desire is loud, but your salvation is somewhere else. And Allah, out of mercy, may deny the desire to save the soul. That is why trusting Allah is not only about believing He can give, it is also about believing He is wise when He withholds. Many people believe Allah is generous when He gives them what they want, but they struggle to believe in His mercy when He withholds what they love. But withholding can also be mercy. Removing can also be mercy. Delaying can also be mercy. Redirecting can also be mercy. The hand that gives and the decree that withholds both belong to the same Lord, and He is wise in both. You wanted something because it looked beautiful, but Allah knew it carried harm. You wanted someone because they made you feel seen, but Allah knew they could lead your heart into darkness. You wanted success quickly, but Allah knew quick success could make you arrogant. You wanted wealth immediately, but Allah knew your character needed strengthening first. You wanted the pain to disappear instantly, but Allah knew the pain was bringing you back to Him. You wanted the problem solved in one way, but Allah had 1,000 ways you never imagined. So stop narrowing Allah's mercy to your own expectations. Allah can help you through a person, or He can help you without that person. Allah can open the door you are knocking on, or He can open a better door you did not know existed. Allah can return what you lost, or He can replace it with something that makes you forget the pain of losing it. Allah can change the situation, or He can change you so deeply that the same situation no longer destroys you. Allah is not limited to the solution you imagined. This is why you should never say, it must happen this way, or I will never be happy. Be careful with such words. You do not know how many ways Allah can bring happiness into your life. You do not know how many paths can lead to peace. You do not know how many blessings are waiting outside the plan you are crying over. Sometimes your heart is attached to one door because it has not seen the palace Allah can build elsewhere. Sometimes you think one person is your whole future because you have not seen the people Allah can send later. Sometimes you think one opportunity is your only chance because you have not seen the rizq Allah has written beyond it. The planner is not limited. Your imagination is limited. Your knowledge is limited. Your timing is limited. Your emotional state is limited. But Allah is not limited. So when you surrender to Allah's plan, you are not surrendering to something small. You are surrendering to the one whose knowledge has no end, whose mercy has no limit, whose power has no weakness, and whose wisdom has no mistake. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly in the middle of this lesson, remember that one of the most beautiful signs of trust is contentment. Contentment does not mean you stop asking Allah for better. It does not mean you stop making dua for relief. It does not mean you stop trying to improve your life. Contentment means that while you are asking, while you are trying, while you are waiting, your heart does not hate Allah's decree. You still seek change, but you do not live in anger. You still work for improvement, but you do not accuse Allah. You still hope for ease, but you do not despise your current test. You say, oh Allah, I ask you for relief, but until relief comes, keep me pleased with you. This is a beautiful state. A person in this state is not destroyed by every change. If something comes, they say Alhamdulillah. If something goes, they say Allah knows best. If a door opens, they enter with gratitude. If a door closes, they step back with trust. If they are given, they are thankful. If they are tested, they are patient. They are not emotionless, but they are anchored. The waves may move them, but they do not drown them because their heart is tied to Allah. And that is what you need in this life. You do not need a life without waves. You need an anchor strong enough to hold you when the waves come. Your anchor is tawakkul, your anchor is salah, your anchor is dua. Your anchor is knowing that Allah does not make mistakes. Your anchor is knowing that what missed you was not meant for you, and what is meant for you will reach you. Your anchor is knowing that Allah's plan is not random. Your anchor is knowing that even when you are confused, Allah is not confused. Do not look at the people around you and assume their plan is better because their life looks easier. You do not know what Allah is testing them with. You do not know what their blessing costs them. You do not know what they cry about. You do not know what they fear. You do not know what their future holds. Social comparison is one of the greatest thieves of peace. You compare your hidden pain to someone else's public blessing, and then you think Allah has treated you unfairly, but you do not know the full story of anyone's life. You barely know the full story of your own life. So stop comparing plans when you do not even know what is written behind the scenes. Allah has written your journey specifically for you. Your tests are chosen with knowledge of your soul. Your blessings are measured with wisdom. Your delays are timed with precision. Your closed doors are not random. Your openings are not accidents. Your life is not a copy of someone else's life, so do not measure it with someone else's timeline. If someone else receives something before you, it does not mean Allah forgot you. If someone else's door opens while yours remains closed, it does not mean your door will never open. If someone else seems ahead, it does not mean you are behind. You are not behind in Allah's plan. You are exactly where Allah has allowed you to be for a reason. This sentence can heal so much anxiety. I am not behind in Allah's plan. You may be behind your own expectations. You may be behind society's timeline. You may be behind what your family wanted. You may be behind what your friends are doing. But you are not behind in Allah's plan. And Allah's plan is the only plan that truly matters. Your rizq has its time. Your healing has its time. Your growth has its time. Your answer has its time. Your opening has its time. Your relief has its time. When the time comes, Allah can change your situation in a moment. Do not think that because things have been difficult for a long time, they must remain difficult forever. Do not think that because a door has been closed for years, Allah cannot open it tomorrow. Do not think that because your heart has been heavy for so long, peace cannot enter it suddenly. Allah changes states. Allah turns hearts. Allah opens ways. Allah brings light after darkness. Allah brings life after deadness. Allah brings relief after hardship. The same Lord who allowed the test is the Lord who can end it. But until He ends it, trust Him inside it. This is important. Many people say, I will trust Allah after He gives me what I want. But trust is needed before the gift arrives. Trust is needed while the door is still closed. Trust is needed while the answer is still unseen. Trust is needed while your heart is still healing. Trust is needed while your hands are still empty. Trust is needed while your dua is still being repeated. When the blessing arrives, gratitude becomes the test. But before it arrives, trust is the test. So do not wait for everything to make sense before you become a person of faith. Become a person of faith while things do not make sense. Do not wait for the relief before you stop panicking. Start learning peace while relief is still on the way. Do not wait for people to understand you before you feel valuable. Know your value because Allah created you, sees you, and knows your truth. Do not wait for the plan to unfold before you believe it is good. Believe that Allah is good and therefore His plan carries wisdom. This does not mean you ignore your pain. Faith is not pretending. You can be hurt and still trust Allah. You can cry and still be patient. You can miss someone and still accept they were not written to stay. You can feel disappointed and still believe Allah has something better. You can be tired and still keep going. You can ask Allah for relief and still be content with His timing. The heart of a believer is not made of stone. It feels deeply, but it returns to Allah repeatedly. And returning is the key. Every time stress pulls you away, return. Every time fear becomes loud, return. Every time the old wound opens, return. Every time you begin to overthink, return. Every time you start asking, what if everything goes wrong? Return. Return to prayer. Return to dua. Return to remembrance. Return to the truth that Allah is the planner. You may have to return many times in one day. That is okay. Allah loves the servant who keeps coming back. Do not think that because you still struggle with stress, your faith is fake. No. Faith grows through struggle. Tawakkul becomes stronger by practicing it in moments of fear. Patience becomes stronger by practicing it in moments of difficulty. Contentment becomes stronger by practicing it when the heart wanted something else. Every time you choose to trust Allah instead of drowning in panic, you are strengthening a muscle of the soul. Over time, your heart learns a new way of living. Before, your first reaction may have been panic. Later, your first reaction becomes dua. Before, your first reaction may have been anger. Later, your first reaction becomes patience. Before, your first reaction may have been comparison. Later, your first reaction becomes gratitude. Before, your first reaction may have been, why me? Later, your first reaction becomes, oh Allah, help me respond in the way that pleases you. This is growth. This is the fruit of trusting Allah's plan. And if you want to know whether you are truly beginning to trust Allah, look at how you behave when life does not obey you. Do you become harsh? Do you become hopeless? Do you abandon prayer? Do you run to haram for comfort? Do you speak badly about Allah's decree? Or do you feel the pain then return to Him? Do you make dua? Do you stay patient? Do you say Allah knows best? Do you continue doing what is right? Trust is not only a statement. Trust is shown in your choices when you are under pressure. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, let this enter your heart deeply. Allah's plan is not against you. Sometimes your own desires may be against you. Sometimes your limited understanding may be against you. Sometimes your attachment to people may be against you. Sometimes your impatience may be against you. Sometimes your ego may be against you. Sometimes your fear may be against you. But Allah's plan is not against you. Allah is more merciful to you than you are to yourself. Allah knows what you need beyond what you want. Allah knows what will save you beyond what will please you for a short time. So when He redirects you, do not assume He is punishing you. When He delays you, do not assume He has forgotten you. When He removes something, do not assume He is depriving you. When He tests you, do not assume He hates you. Speak to yourself with faith. Say, Allah is teaching me. Say, Allah is protecting me. Say, Allah is preparing me. Say, Allah is purifying me. Say, Allah is planning something I cannot see. The words you repeat to yourself matter. If you keep saying, my life is ruined, your heart will begin to believe ruin. If you keep saying nothing will ever change, your heart will begin to drown in hopelessness. If you keep saying Allah has forgotten me, you are feeding a lie that will damage your soul. Instead, speak truth into your heart. Say, Allah has not forgotten me. Say, this test has wisdom. Say, relief can come. Say, my dua is heard. Say, my Lord is near. Say, the planner is still planning. Your heart needs reminders because stress is repetitive. Stress does not whisper once and leave. It returns again and again. So your reminders must also return again and again. Do not be tired of reminding yourself. Do not be tired of saying Allah knows best. Do not be tired of making dua. Do not be tired of returning to prayer. Do not be tired of choosing patience. Every reminder is a shield. Every dua is a connection. Every act of trust is a step out of darkness. And remember, Allah's plan includes the people He removes from your life. This is painful but necessary to understand. Not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some people leaving is mercy. Some distance is protection. Some rejection is redirection. Some endings are gifts wrapped in pain. You may cry because someone walked away, but Allah may know that if they stayed, they would have slowly damaged your faith, your peace, your dignity, or your future. You may think you lost them, but perhaps Allah returned you to yourself. Perhaps Allah returned you to Him. Do not chase what Allah is teaching you to release. Do not keep knocking on doors that damage your soul. Do not keep begging people to value what Allah already honored. Do not make a human being the center of your existence. People are means. Allah is the source. When a means leaves, the source remains. When a person disappoints, Allah remains perfect. When someone closes their heart, Allah's door remains open. When people misunderstand, Allah knows. When people abandon, Allah is near. This is not just comfort. This is reality. The more you understand it, the lighter your heart becomes. You stop panicking over people's behavior because you know your life is not in their hands. You stop begging for acceptance because you know your worth is not created by their approval. You stop losing yourself over someone's absence because you know Allah was present before they came and remains present after they leave. Allah's plan also includes the doors He keeps closed. Some closed doors are painful because you worked hard for them, you prepared, you hoped, you prayed, you imagined life after that opening. Then it did not happen and the heart broke. But a believer pauses and says, oh Allah, if this door was good for me, you would have opened it. If you closed it, then save my heart from being attached to what you did not right. This is a mature dua. It does not deny the pain, but it submits the desire. A closed door is not always a dead end. Sometimes it is a sign to turn. Sometimes it is a shield. Sometimes it is a mercy. Sometimes it is Allah saying, not this way. And if Allah says, not this way, then do not destroy yourself trying to force that way open. There are doors you cannot see yet. There are paths you have not walked yet. There are opportunities not yet born. There are people you have not met. There are blessings you have not imagined. Do not let one closed door convince you that Allah has no keys left. Allah's plan also includes the mistakes you made and repented from. Do not think your mistakes have removed you from Allah's plan of mercy. Shaitan wants you to believe that because you sinned, because you failed, because you fell, because you made wrong choices, your future is finished. This is not true. Repentance can rewrite the direction of a life. Allah can bring good even after your mistakes if you return sincerely. The mistake that once took you away can become the reason you return with humility. The fall that embarrassed you can become the reason you stop judging others. The sin that broke your heart can become the reason you cry to Allah with sincerity. So do not let guilt become despair. Guilt should take you back to Allah, not away from Him. If you made mistakes, repent. If you hurt people, seek forgiveness where possible. If you went down the wrong road, turn around. Allah's mercy is not small. Allah's plan is not ruined by your weakness when you return to Him. The door of return is part of the plan. The chance to change is part of the plan. The fact that your heart still cares is part of the mercy of Allah. And if you are listening while feeling broken by your past, know that Allah can still build a beautiful future from a sincere return. You may have wasted years, but Allah can place blessing in what remains. You may have lost opportunities, but Allah can open new ones. You may have damaged your heart, but Allah can heal it. You may have walked far, but one sincere return can bring you back to the path. Never make your sin greater in your mind than the mercy of Allah. Allah's plan also includes your healing. Healing may be slower than you want, but slow healing is still healing. Do not hate yourself because you are not okay immediately. Do not think your faith is weak because your heart still hurts. Some wounds need time. Some memories take time to lose their sharpness. Some disappointments take time to stop echoing. But while time passes, keep bringing your wound to Allah. Do not heal in haram. Do not numb yourself with sins that create deeper wounds. Do not let pain make you careless with your soul. Heal with prayer, with dua, with good company, with halal effort, with patience, with truth, with boundaries, with remembrance, and with trust. One day, the thing that once made you cry every night may become a memory that no longer controls you. One day, the name that once broke your heart may no longer shake you. One day, the door that closed may no longer feel like the end. One day, the delay that exhausted you may make sense. One day, the pain that felt unbearable may become the reason you speak with wisdom. Allah can heal in ways you cannot predict. Do not rush the process and do not abandon the healer. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you say Allah is the planner, you are not saying life will always be easy. You are saying life is never random. You are saying pain has limits. You are saying hardship has wisdom. You are saying people do not control your destiny. You are saying closed doors do not frighten you the way they used to. You are saying delay does not mean abandonment. You are saying loss does not mean Allah is cruel. You are saying your future is in the hands of the most merciful, not in the hands of your fear. That belief must become stronger than your anxiety. Not louder at first perhaps, but stronger. Anxiety may shout, faith may begin as a whisper, but keep feeding faith and it will grow. Keep remembering Allah and the whisper will become steady. Keep trusting Allah and your heart will begin to stand. Keep making dua and your soul will remember where safety is. Keep surrendering and slowly you will notice that the same situation no longer breaks you the way it once did. This is how Allah changes a person from the inside. The outside may look the same for a while, but inside something is becoming stronger. You become less desperate for people. You become less terrified of uncertainty. You become less controlled by comparison. You become more careful with your worship. You become more aware of Allah. You become more grateful for small blessings. You become more patient with delays. You become more accepting of what is not yours. You become more hopeful in what Allah can bring. And then one day you realize that the test you begged Allah to remove became the path through which Allah rebuilt your heart. You realize that the plan you cried over was not better than the plan Allah chose. You realize that the person you thought you could not live without was never the source of your life. You realize that the door you thought you needed was not the only door. You realize that the delay was not empty. You realize that Allah was never absent. You realize that even in the hardest days, the planner was planning. So do not stress as though your life has slipped out of Allah's control. Nothing slips from Allah. Do not stress as though one problem is greater than Allah's power. Nothing is greater than Allah. Do not stress as though one mistake has destroyed every possibility. Allah can restore. Do not stress as though one person can block what Allah has written. No one can block Allah's decree. Do not stress as though your dua is disappearing into the air. Allah hears. Do not stress as though your tears are meaningless. Allah sees. Do not stress as though your waiting is wasted. Allah knows. The next time stress enters your heart and says, what if it does not work out? Answer it with faith and say, if Allah wants it for me, it will reach me. And if Allah keeps it away, He knows why. The next time stress says, you are running out of time, answer it and say, Allah's timing is perfect. The next time stress says, you have lost too much, answer it and say, Allah can replace what I lost and reward what I endured. The next time stress says, you are alone, answer it and say, Allah is with me. The next time stress says, this pain has no purpose, answer it and say, Allah does not waste the pain of His servants. This is not just positive thinking, this is faith. This is the heart returning to the truth. This is the servant refusing to let fear become stronger than belief. This is the soul choosing Allah's wisdom over its own panic. And do not think this level of trust comes without practice. You must practice it every day. Practice it when something small goes wrong. Practice it when someone disappoints you. Practice it when plans change. Practice it when you have to wait. Practice it when you feel jealousy rising. Practice it when fear enters. Practice it when you do not understand. Every small act of trust prepares you for bigger tests. Every time you surrender a small matter to Allah, your heart becomes more ready to surrender greater matters. Say often, Allah knows best. But do not say it only with the tongue. Teach your heart what it means. It means Allah knows what I cannot see. It means Allah knows what will happen after this. It means Allah knows what this person truly carries. It means Allah knows whether this door is safe. It means Allah knows whether I am ready. It means Allah knows what will bring me closer to Him. It means Allah knows how to protect me from harm I would have happily walked into. It means Allah knows the full story while I only know one page. When the heart understands Allah knows best, it becomes easier to breathe. You still may not have everything you want, but you stop feeling abandoned. You still may have questions, but you stop drowning in them. You still may feel pain, but you stop believing pain is proof that Allah is against you. You start seeing your life through the lens of trust rather than the lens of fear. My beloved brothers and sisters, nearly at the end of this lesson, I want you to imagine how different your life would feel if you truly believed Allah's plan is perfect. You would still work hard, but you would not panic over results. You would still love people, but you would not lose yourself in them. You would still make dua, but you would not become hopeless if the answer looked different. You would still feel sadness, but you would not let sadness push you away from Allah. You would still face uncertainty, but you would walk through it with a heart that says, my Lord knows the way. That is freedom, that is peace, that is strength. Not the kind of strength that never cries, but the kind that cries and still prays. Not the kind of peace that has no problems, but the kind that has Allah in the middle of the problems. Not the kind of faith that only appears in ease, but the kind that holds on in hardship. So surrender the ending to Allah. Surrender the timing to Allah. Surrender the people to Allah. Surrender the doors to Allah. Surrender the unanswered questions to Allah. Surrender the pain you cannot explain to Allah. Surrender the future that keeps frightening you to Allah. Not because you are weak, but because you finally understand that Allah is stronger than everything you are afraid of. You do not need to know how everything will work out. You need to know who is planning it. You do not need to see the whole path. You need to trust the one guiding you. You do not need to control every outcome. You need to obey Allah in the step in front of you. You do not need to carry tomorrow tonight. You need to place tomorrow with Allah and sleep with a heart that has done its best. And when the heart truly reaches that place, it begins to say, oh Allah, I trust you with what I cannot see. I trust you with what I cannot control. I trust you with what I cannot fix. I trust you with what I lost. I trust you with what I am waiting for. I trust you with the doors that closed. I trust you with the people who left. I trust you with the dreams that changed. I trust you with my healing, my future, my rizq, my family, my heart, my akhirah, and every part of my life. This is the heart of a believer. It is not a heart without pain. It is a heart that knows where to place the pain. It is not a heart without fear. It is a heart that knows where to take the fear. It is not a heart without questions. It is a heart that does not let questions become greater than Allah. So don't stress. Allah is the planner. And when Allah is the planner, nothing in your life is random. The delay has wisdom. The loss has wisdom. The closed door has wisdom. The unanswered dua has wisdom. The pain has wisdom. The waiting has wisdom. The redirection has wisdom. The silence has wisdom. The ending has wisdom. The beginning has wisdom. You may not see it today. You may not understand it tomorrow. But one day, whether in this life or the next, you will see that Allah was never unjust to you. You will see that He protected you in ways you did not recognize. You will see that He gave you strength in moments you thought you would not survive. You will see that He answered du'as in ways your mind could not design. You will see that He removed what was harmful, delayed what needed time, and brought what was best at the moment written for it. Until that day comes, keep trusting, keep praying, keep walking, keep your heart clean, keep your tongue away from hopelessness, keep your soul away from haram, keep your eyes away from comparison. Keep your mind away from overthinking what only Allah controls. Keep returning to the truth. Allah is the planner, and His plan is always perfect. My brothers and sisters, if your heart has been heavy, let this be the reminder you carry with you tonight. You are not alone in what you are facing. You are not forgotten in what you are waiting for. You are not abandoned in what you are struggling through. The same Allah who brought you this far is still planning for you, still watching over you, still hearing your dua, still seeing your tears, and still preparing what your eyes cannot yet see. So don't let stress convince you that everything depends on you. It does not. You are a servant. You take the step, you make the effort, you pray, you stay away from what displeases Allah, you keep your heart clean, and you leave the result to the one who never makes a mistake. Your job is not to control every outcome. Your job is to trust Allah while you walk through the unknown. The door that closed did not close by accident. The delay that hurt you was not empty. The person who left was not stronger than Allah's plan. The opportunity that passed you was not the last door Allah can open. The pain you carried was not wasted. The tears you cried were not ignored. Every single thing that happened, every single thing that did not happen, every single thing still waiting to happen is under the knowledge, wisdom and mercy of Allah. So breathe, relax your heart, stop fighting the unseen. Stop punishing yourself with thoughts about a future Allah has already written. Stop carrying tomorrow before it arrives. Tonight, place your worries back where they belong. Place them with Allah. Place your fear with Allah. Place your confusion with Allah. Place your broken plans with Allah. Place your unanswered questions with Allah. Place your pain with Allah. Place your future with Allah. Because the one you are trusting is not weak. The one you are calling upon is not unaware. The one who is planning for you is not confused. Allah knows exactly where you are, exactly what you feel, exactly what you need, and exactly when to bring it into your life. So when stress comes and tells you, what if everything goes wrong? Remind your heart, Allah is the planner. When fear tells you, you are running out of time, remind your heart, Allah's timing is perfect. When sadness tells you, nothing is changing, remind your heart, Allah is working in ways I cannot see. When your mind tells you, you cannot handle this, remind your heart, Allah will carry me through it. And when the world feels heavy, whisper to your soul, my Lord has never abandoned me and He will not abandon me now. My brothers and sisters, keep going, keep praying, keep trusting, keep choosing what pleases Allah, keep making dua even when the answer is not visible. Keep walking even when the road is unclear. Keep your hope alive even when your heart is tired. Because the plan is not finished. The story is not over. The mercy of Allah is still near. And the one who planned your life before you even understood your own name is still planning for you today. So don't stress. Allah is the planner. And when Allah is the planner, your heart can finally rest